This is the new loading screen for Star Citizen 4.6. And folks, chat, what do we do most here? We all know it. It's literal, it's a noun, it's a verb, it's the most important part of the stream. It's chat. We gotta chat, we gotta talk. We need to talk to each other, and CIG for some reason doesn't want us to, but they might be changing that. Social apps might be getting a little bit of a tease here. We've got another moment with them talking about talking on the loading screen, which is weird because normally when they do these loading screen things, they are talking about new stories, new features, and new things coming up. You can see here on the left side, Asiato finishing the FTL network upgrades. We're going to come back to this, but this is, again, the second time that they're referring to this. First, we're going to look at the last year of loading screens, folks. That's right. It's a deep dive. Tricked ya. We're jumping into the history of Star Citizen here, not just the current game. Love it. Gotta love it. We're going to go back to earlier in the year, in March, where we were seeing these loading screens first popping up and getting an idea of what the heck they were about. Obviously, they were giving us some teasers about Stella Fortuna coming up, but the big thing in the middle here was obviously the big story. It was the big next thing. It was the Frontier Fighters event that was going on, right? At the same time, you could also see some of the Dedatrine theft coming up. This was kind of a teaser, I think, for possibly... I don't know if this was a teaser for anything in particular, but a lot of times these things on the sides are teasers. So we continue to one of the other months. Oh, that's a really recent one. Let's go to here. This is, I think, 4. This is May, I believe. This is June. So June of last year, we had the main thing in the newspaper was the Polaris theft. This was Hunt the Polaris event. It was advertising an in-game event. At the same time, ASD was also having some flavor text over here because we were getting into that regeneration timeline with the ASD facilities. Here, the main thing in the middle of the newspaper was the resource rush. That was the big thing that was going on, yes, going from July into August. Basically, they seem to tease whatever's happening in the next month, like the next patch. We also had something they were talking about, mercenary contracts completed here. That's because they added new mercenary contracts in 4.1.1, I believe it was. And so they're covering that in the next one, 4.2.1. And then the ASD storyline continued to be followed. We also had a couple other ones here. So they do them based on like where they're coming from. This one's coming from Nyx, this one's coming from Pyro, this one's coming from the Mercenary Guild, this one's coming from Stanton. They had a couple of flavor texts in this one, but that one wasn't super important. This one had more of the regen crisis. You get the idea, right? The Vox Populi one had the Nyx 1 terraformation process. That is the first time I think they put something in big that didn't come into the game immediately, but was important. It was pertinent. They were teasing something that they were going to announce to us at CitizenCon. Nyx 1 is being terraformed because Planet Tech's coming in as a feature to change things, and so we're kind of mixing it in. And I think it's key to note that a lot of the things that they're talking about here, this is kind of coincidence, but it is indicative of what's going on in Star Citizen. It's retcons. This is a retcon. They're just mixing it into the lore. They had to change Nyx, so they're pushing it as a terraformation process that's going on in the current day to catch the game up to the point it's supposed to be. Same thing is happening with regen. I didn't realize this, but did you guys know that regen was a technology that was supposedly discovered in Star Citizen's universe just like 7 years ago? So it's brand new. All of the wars and battles and history of humanity in Star Citizen does not include regen. Now, you would think that would completely shake up how humanity works. It would bring new people into power. It would cause catastrophic upheaval in the government, but it didn't. We're mostly the same. We had the regen crisis this year, but like, we're mostly getting along with it. Either way, they didn't have to make regen a new technology, but they are, because that's just the way they're introducing these techs. Now, I think the same thing is happening here. Last month, or rather in December, we got our first newspaper that mentioned this central story, FTL comms breakthrough. Scientists reveal cutting-edge discovery allowing for real-time intersystem comms. And this is a weird one because the lore of Star Citizen basically states that we can send communications in star systems almost immediately. That's not a problem. But because jump points are connecting us through quantum space in unimaginable distances, we obviously can't communicate through jump points. So you have data runners that jump between star systems to deliver messages that need to go, pricing, the the new law situation, economy, anything that needs to be shared between systems for travelers to know about. Now, that's just lore. Most of what is just lore for Star Citizen is getting changed, but here, I don't think this is data running, because usually there's at least some sign of what the heck they're talking about, right? I mentioned the Planet Tech one. We knew Planet Tech was getting changed, even if the terraforming wasn't necessarily how they were going to do it. We have known that regen was going to be a storyline. We didn't know exactly what was going to happen with it. We knew that the Apollo was coming and that it would be involved somehow. Basically just a extra powerful Cutlass Red, but you get the idea. These are things that are kind of already known about. Data running is not. Now, I could be wrong. It could be that data running is getting talked about here, but I do think that this is talking about social apps, chatting, talking to one another, FTL comms. The way that they're talking about it, especially in this newest loading screen. So this one reads, working quickly after last month's reveal of the breakthrough technology, Asiato engineers have coordinated with key researchers from the project to outfit their entire comm network with the new faster-than-light upgrades. An Asiato spokesperson said that they have begun to seamlessly roll out access to the service with hundreds of thousands of users utilizing the new inter-system comms already. This is pretty current. I don't think this is a 4.6 kind of thing, but I could definitely see this being a teaser for some kind of chat upgrade in 4.7, or at least coming into testing. We've known that this is in the works. We've covered the social apps ourselves here on the stream, and they added the block button not too long ago, the block and mute button. So there's some kind of work being done on it. And we've gone over this quite a bit this year, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to require social apps. Let me tell you, after trying out crafting, there's no way that this game is going to work out if we can't. I know there's a lot of people in the chat who are going to be saying, I'm a solo player. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to work with any, but it's like, this is not just talking. This is getting services done. This is identifying other ships flying around. This is being able to see who owns a box, you know? This is like really important social cues and signs, and the ownership system to the chatting system to org tools to looking for group to a calendar to, I don't know, even just like the chat being split up into planets and systems is good. In fact, you could read this. Yeah, this whole idea of inter-system comms and all stuff, you could read into this and say maybe they're figuring out how to split the different star systems into different comms rooms. It could be something as simple as that. Like I said, we've covered a lot of this. Parties, looking for group, voice comms, block lists, hostile lists, all this stuff. We've covered plenty of this, and it all looks really good. I'm not saying that this is all what's going to be coming, but I do think that we're going to be making some progress on this. And the social apps might be seeing some implementation in some small ways soon. I think this would be one of the biggest possible changes for Star Citizen this year, one of the most helpful changes for all the type of gameplay they're trying to put in. And I think I want to do a video about it. I mean, besides this one we're doing. When it comes to data running, I am curious if they are going to stick to the idea of data being a commodity that we can buy and trade and sell and find and use, or if they're going to lock it down so that it's like, there's only certain little cards that are called data, and you have to trade these for missions, and then that's it. It's like commodities are in the sandbox. I think data should also be in the sandbox. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to it besides that. Like, I feel like it's mainly a theory, but they don't just put stuff in here and then forget about it. Now, it is CIG, and that could always change. They could think that something's coming out in the next month, and then it's not. We've seen that before. So whatever shows up here, maybe we miss it. But looking at all the loading screens from the last year, generally whatever is showing up here shows up in some way to us. So I do think we'll be seeing something about this sometime in the next few weeks. Now, what could that include? Here is like the most basic sort of parts of what they're changing when it comes to Star Citizen's chat apps. Let me run you through like some of the most basic parts of this social restructuring.
Spectrum itself, Arena Commander, or just chilling on the launcher. And that also means that you can accept and receive invites to and from Spectrum even while you're offline. And throughout this presentation, I'm going
to spam you on your phone.
Shared between the game and the web and the launcher, we're aiming to synchronize across all. And speaking of synchronizing, when we have multiple characters, your friends will be shared across all of them too.
Nice. So some
So new friends list is looking good. How about voice
Moving the
chat?
voice chat into the social app. And, well, why? Who are you gonna call? That's the question. You're gonna call your friends. You're gonna call your party. So this is where it should live.
Seem to have got a lot of UEC there as well, Ben.
I swear to God, I didn't dupe any cargo. This is just my personal allowance.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so that's all cool for your close buddies, but the one thing that's always happened.
Yeah, you get to leave notes on your friends. You can put like location. It'll tell you what location they're at. I think it like you can have different
I'll
markers.
have no friends at all then.
So you're now going to be able to see what those real friends are doing with richer presence information. So giving you better awareness of where your friends are, what they're doing, or if they're not on, when they were last seen. And then you'll also be able to reflect your own status. So you can let friends know if you're away, don't want to be disturbed, or if you just want to hide offline for a while.
It's literally your old SBC global status update.
Always going to be shown
On
at the
MSN.
top of your friends list for your convenience. Additionally,
All right, so we doing over the
When
voice
you meet
chat.
people, is that some of them aren't nice. Abusers, pad rammers, active griefers, you know? Currently, we can't do anything about that in the game. What are we doing to help the situation?
So in addition to the friends list, we're also now going to have a block list. And we like to
Now,
think of block
this has been implemented to some extent now, but like obviously the UI needs an update, and it's just like a little bit. But I think that is what made people a little bit curious already in December. Was like, you guys, you're getting small changes in here. Is there more to come? But then you ask, why wouldn't you wait until just do it all at once? I don't know. We'll see.
people as reverse friends. They're just people that you really don't want to talk to anymore. So what we're trying to do is we're doing something called blackholing them from communications. So you can't see them talk, and they can't see you talk anymore. And not only for communications, whenever you see some of these other systems we're about to talk about where you can group up, we're going to make it harder for you to see each other as well.
All right. Then there's more.
yeah, so as you said, it does have some cool features like party launching, the party markers, quantum syncing. It's all good stuff, but let's take a closer look at the new features of the party list. So, with server meshing, we are right now at a unique opportunity for us. So we already support large parties, but we want to do this well. We have been seeing what you do in the tech previews, and people have been partying up in hundreds.
100 plus people in one ship? Come on.
And that's all right. We just
This as well, so you're going to be able to control permission for invites, so only your leaders and assistant leaders can actually.
This is actually really needed for something like engineering. Yeah, like we need permissions. I don't want people on my ship that have the ability to just pull out my power plant if they want. I mean, I do, but what if you can't trust them? What if you just are in a situation where you need to let someone on your ship? They don't even give us the choice of locking things down. Well, I guess you can lock down ports at least, but there's still some things you can do with engineering now.
Invite people, so it's no longer an absolute free-for-all. And we're adding an absolute MMO staple as well, which is the ready check. So as we add more and more challenging group gameplay, you're going to be able to coordinate a lot better. And while we're talking about group...
A ready check is an interesting one for this game. But then there's also this.
the party finder.
Now, up until now, actually, I'm going to skip this and say the stuff that I just talked about, and then this, I think, is what we might be able to expect from a first update to social apps.
For you to customize the chat window, giving you the power to make the chat your own. We're also adding chat tabs.
We're bringing back tabs.
We're bringing them back from other games. And this means that you can set up customizable views, filtered for any area of the game that you are interested in. And Ben, you had a UI team make a little mock-up of some of the other functionality we're adding, right?
I sure did. I also got them to add the combat login.
That's sweet. How kind of you. So, first off, as we can see here, we're making slash commands actually useful. So no longer just chicken dancing and flexing. It's going to be able to help you send messages to party, to proximity chats with say and /dl commands, as well as sending DMs to other players. What the hell, Ben? You said you were going to take
Hey,
that
you
out.
wanted a real example.
Sure. So, another thing we're adding is that we're giving you the power to share information more easily via links. So, first off, here we have contract links, taking you to the contract manager for that specific contract.
Cheesecake!
Yes, cheesecake.
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, so this isn't a reason to get people to use text chat in game as opposed to text chat out of game. But I do wonder if there's a way they can do this for voice chat, because this is legitimately a reason to use. You know, you can't send locations linked in third-party apps that will link you to the star map. It is a way to keep people in the system.
Cheesecake is maybe better than Xenofret. Also, we are adding star map links. Let's have a look at what that looks like. This means that you can click the link and it will take you to the exact location in the star map, making it easy for you to group up.
So then, like I mentioned before, they have like the categories up here that you can tab out the chat. I'm hoping that they're going to do this in terms of localizations, but again, I'm not entirely sure. This is all speculation. This is theory crafting. This is what I think from seeing this loading screen and from knowing what they need to get their freaking is on, you know, developing. And what I think they have been getting those lovely on developing, but I'm not entirely sure. This isn't like the normal news drop or anything.
Presentation tomorrow. Lastly, we're adding player link. Well, you'll see why you click the link, and it will take you to the exact location in the star map, making it easy for you to group up. Another thing we're adding is item links, and well, you'll see why you want to link items in our Crafting Your Home presentation tomorrow. Lastly, we're adding player links.
Also the kind of thing that
easy
they
for you
just
to-
like, this needs to exist for crafting for sure.
To connect your friends with one another, right? So while we're talking about comms, Sean just messaged us about VoIP. Do you want to invite him to the party?
I sure can, Gabe. We do need an expert to discuss VoIP and FOIP anyway. So you guys give us some air.
And VoIP is somewhere where I wish we could say that they're going to obviously improve, and I think it's one of the biggest ways we all wish that they would. But who knows? I don't know what's going to happen with VoIP. Either way, that is what we can see from the loading screen and hopefully what it means for us in the near future. Yeah.